Hey, what's up YouTube? I am here again. I'm gonna make a video. This video is gonna be about buying cars from an auction. Alright, I'm going to try to give you as much information as I can about buying from an auction, the pros and the cons actually. Alright, but before I get into the video, again, please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when I post my next video. Alright, so I have a video on how to buy cheap used cars. Good, reliable, cheap used cars. Okay? I have a video on how to buy from small dealers. Now, this video is going to be how to buy cars from an auction. First of all, the auctions are dealer auctions. So you have to be a licensed dealer to buy from these auctions. But there are dealers that would bring people to the auction or, you know, take your money and go to the auction to buy cars for you. Because I keep hearing everyone saying they're going to the auction to buy cars, or they have a friend that buy cars from the auction. There's a couple of ways. There are a couple of ways you can buy from the auction. Again, some are good, some are not so good, and you have to actually try to understand the difference. So you can buy cars from the auction. You can buy crash cars. These are crash cars that needs to be repaired, that have a salvage title or a rebuildable title. A rebuildable title is the one you want. The salvage title is a car that you cannot repair and keep here if it's just a crash car that you can use for parts. So you don't want to buy one with a salvage title. You want to buy one with a title that is rebuildable. If you're trying to buy a crash car to fix up, then you buy one with a rebuildable title. Okay? I personally feel like if you want to buy an inexpensive car that is a good car, find a car with low mileage that has been in an accident but not something major that you can't repair. Something that's repairable, that is not so difficult that you can repair it and have a safe, reliable car, you know, with minor damage. So sometimes the cars are totaled by the insurance companies, not because they're completely totaled, but because the cost to repair the car would be more than it's worth for the insurance company. Say, for instance, if the car is worth $5,000, but it's going to cost $7,000 to repair, the insurance company will total that car because they don't want to pay $7,000 to fix a $5,000 car. So if you can buy that car and repair it, you know, at the auction you might be able to get that car for a few $1,000s. You can repair it and still end up with a really good car for a fraction of the cost. So that's one way you would buy from the auction. Another way to buy from the auction would be red light. Now, you hear everybody talking about buying cheap cars from the auction. The cheapest cars from the auction are red light cars. If the car is red light, it's because the person selling it is basically saying there's something wrong with this car. I probably don't want to fix it or can't figure out what's wrong with it. So I'm going to bring it to the auction and sell it as red light. Red light meaning something's wrong with it. I'm not guaranteeing it. You know, you buying it at your own risk. Buy it as is. Try to figure it out. If you can figure it out, it's good for you. If not, total loss for you. I am saying this because I have actually been in a position where I bought a car for someone because I had an agent card one time from a dealer where I buy cars for people. So I have a friend that wanted a really cheap car. He only had like $800, to be honest. I bought him a car, a red light car, cheap car. Sounded pretty decent when it was coming through the auction. But by the time I pay for it and go in the back to check it, the thing wouldn't even start. So they got it running good enough to pass through the auction. And then it went completely dead. It was that good. I had to help him to buy an engine, so that was my loss. So I don't recommend buying a red light car. So the cheapest ones at the auction are going to be red light cars. The good cars are green light cars. Now, the green light cars, everyone at the auction, you know, again, this is a dealer auction. So people are there buying cars to sell back at their car dealerships. So if it's a green light car, that means the owner of the car, whoever is selling it, is pretty much guaranteeing that it's a good car. And you have like 2 or 3 days to bring someone to the auction to check the car to make sure it's a good car. So you pay for it and you have 3 days to make sure it's good and whatever before you actually are bounded by the sale. After, if you find something wrong with it within the 2 days, you can actually forfeit the sale. So the green light cars are the ones you need to buy. But keep in mind, everyone else at the auction, including all of these dealers, are there to buy green light cars. So you are competing with all of the dealers. Most of them have really good, have a lot of money to spend. And if the car is a good car and the price is reasonable, you know, it's going to be hard for you to get a good green light car at the auction, you know, cheap. It's going to be more money. So the cheapest cars are the red light. You can find good green light cars, but again, you're competing with all of the dealers that are at the auction. So keep it in mind when you hear about auction cars, you got to figure out, is it a red light car? Is it a green light car? Is it a red light car that they're pushing through? Honestly, if I'm gonna buy a red light car, it's gonna be one that's been pushed through, which means you know it doesn't run, and it's going to be a lot cheaper. It's gonna be a lot cheaper because it doesn't run, and you're taking a chance. You're guessing that maybe you can figure out what's wrong with it and fix it. So that red light car, I would personally buy because it's going to be very cheap. If they have to push it through, nobody's gonna be bidding a lot of money on it. Unless it's like some collectible car or something and they want to take a chance to fix it. So that's the only red light car that I would buy, one that's been pushed through. All right, then you have, again, the crash cars, which can be good if it's reasonable. And the green light cars are the ones that, if someone's buying for you, make sure you instruct them, only buy green light cars. Again, don't buy any red light cars unless you're prepared to fix it. Buy green light. So that's the good cars from the auction. Again, that is my little 2 cents on buying from the auction, because I get a lot of people saying, oh, I only have X amount of dollars to spend, so I'm gonna buy from the auction. You can buy from the auction and end up with garbage, because if it's cheap, there's a reason it's cheap. Just like I've said before in the other video, no one's gonna bring a car to the auction and sell it for cheap unless there's something wrong with it, unless they're desperate, and that's generally not the case, right? So if the car is green light, you know, it's gonna cost you a little bit more than you think, actually. So you're not gonna go to the auction and get you know, very nice, perfect car for almost nothing. That's not how auctions work. You can get a good car, probably a little less than you would at a dealer, to be honest, because as a private person buying, you will probably be willing to pay a little bit more than the dealers are willing to pay, because they have to buy it again so they can take it to their dealership and sell it back for a profit. So, you know, maybe the dealer wouldn't go more than 10 grand, but to you it's worth 11 grand. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not necessarily saying buying from the dealer is a bad thing. From the auction, I should say, is a bad thing. You just have to, you know what you're doing. All right? So again, thanks for watching. And again, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell. Tell your friends about the channel. And I'm making content, different content, you know, other than just test driving lesson. I'm gonna try to make a lot more content and cars generally. You know, what cars to buy, what's a good car. I'm gonna do some car reviews also. All right? So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.